Greetings, free thinkers. Welcome to the Hoggcast. How are you doing today? I hope you're doing fine. I certainly am. Okay, what do we have for you on today's episode? We have two clips to watch, starting with this one here. It's just pure Orwellian trash, right? Believe authority and only authority. If they say the moon is made of cheese, then it bloody well is, yeah? If you, or people on the ground, say that the earth is a sphere, and he says that's misinformation, the earth is flat, then you better believe the earth is flat. This is a representative from the Ottawa Police who is going to tell the people here and the world, because it's obviously a press conference, that they're combating misinformation. Where have we heard that one before? Have you noticed that the only people who ever use those type of phrases, misinformation, disinformation, are always the people that society least trusts? Isn't that a coincidence? Isn't it a coincidence that the people who wax lyrical about misinformation and disinformation, bearing in mind they probably couldn't tell you the difference between the two, but isn't it funny how the people who do that are always the least trusted in society? So we'll get into that now. Watch this. The second clip I have to watch is a truly bizarre segment. It was in Canada's Parliament. A Conservative MP asked a question about Klaus Shwab and the behaviour of the speaker and some of the more entrenched kind of leftist politicians. It was just a bizarre thing. They immediately cut the mic, said, "Oh, I can't hear you," and shut it down. Do you remember when they did that last time about George Soros? Let me guess, it's another one of those coincidences. There's a lot of them lately, isn't there? So let's jump into this video. We'll get into it now. If you haven't yet though, please like the video, subscribe to the Hoggcast, hit the notification bell, and share the video around. That would hopefully allow me to stay competitive with the mainstream media channels, the disinformation lot, who are boosted, and conservative commentators such as myself are deboosted because we are the underdog. And as I said, we are conservative commentators. We also have a membership scheme. I have 9 amazing, beautiful members who honour and humble me that they support the Hoggcast financially by becoming either a member of the Coffee Club or the Gold Club. You could be member 10 if you so choose, but you don't have to. Okay, so over to the representative from the Trudeau regime.
Beginning, we're actually not going to discuss the tactics we use. One of the things that you've seen that we've been engaged in is we're monitoring. We've learned from previous protests and demonstrations. We're monitoring the coverage. One of the tactics that the protesters and demonstrators are using is misinformation.
So he's not going to tell you the tactics. He's not going to tell you anything about that. Yeah, this guy is all about transparency. He's the guy you should trust. Yeah. And look, we're not going to tell you anything, but don't listen to them. That's essentially what he's saying. Even though these people have video cameras, they're filming, so you can use your eyes and ears to deduce what you can see, he doesn't want you to do that. So what he's essentially said is, we're not going to tell you what tactics we use, but don't listen to them. Just comply into the camp, yeah, into the chamber, the you-know-what chamber.
Information that is inaccurate, information that misleads the public. We're actively tweeting and providing information out through social media and other media mechanisms.
Other media mechanisms. So what you're saying is we should trust you and only you, even though you just said that you're not going to tell us what tactics you've been using, even though the people on the ground are now very aware of the tactics you're using, and you're saying that the people shouldn't. Just don't trust your eyes, don't trust your ears, don't think about it. We're not going to tell you what tactics we're going to use, but just comply with us anyway. This is tyranny, but it's worse than that, because in history a lot of tyrants, they knew they knew what they were, and they wore it on their sleeve. These guys, they're worse because they don't know what they're doing is tyrannical. They are so absorbed with themselves, they don't know what they're doing to people, right?
in order to be able to try and get accurate, factual information around what is going on within the protest without actually divulging any police tactics.
So it's just, everything he said is just, it's gobbledygook. Just like everything with the establishment, whether it's Britain, America, Canada, Australia, wherever, it's just gobbledygook. You need like 15 different dictionaries just to try and really work out what they're saying. But essentially what he's saying, we'll go back and watch it at the start. What he's saying is, we're not going to tell you what tactics we use, but don't trust the other people who are telling you. That's essentially what he's saying. Oh, even though they've filmed it, there's video footage, don't trust it, just turn off, turn your eyes off, turn your ears off, don't watch. It's misinformation. Instead, just trust us. We won't tell you anything, but you've got to trust us. That's his shtick. Yeah, these are the same people who were trying to tell us that elderly woman's walker. Remember, she got trampled. That elderly woman's walker was a bicycle. Apparently, they got thrown at a police horse. Horses that are trained to go into like crowd control situations. Yeah, and they were trying to tell us that the people who are waxing lyrical about misinformation were trying to tell us that was a bike. When all you need is to use your eyes, you can see it clearly on multiple streams, multiple images, multiple videos. That's an elderly woman's walking mechanism, a walker. But the people who tell you that the moon is made of cheese, they're not going to tell you their tactics, but they want you to trust them anyway. Told you it's a bicycle, which it was not.
Yeah, we've been pretty clear from the beginning. We're actually not going to discuss the tactics we use.
We're not going to trust it. We're not going to discuss the tactics we use. I wonder why. But trust us anyway. That's essentially what he's saying. We're not going to tell you, but trust us. Just trust in the plan. Right? It's a tyrant that doesn't know he's a tyrant. And it's the same with Trudeau. It's a concerning situation you're going to have to find, and it's not just in Canada. This is across the West. You have to find some way to show these people they are in the wrong, and that they can't just do anything to anyone just because you're a politician or because you're a cop. Does that give you the right to just do anything to anyone anytime? Yeah? Anyway, let's move on to the next clip. In fact, watch it one more time, uninterrupted.
Yeah, we've been pretty clear from the beginning. We're actually not going to discuss the tactics we use. One of the things that you've seen that we've been engaged in is we're monitoring. We've learned from previous protests and demonstrations. We're monitoring the coverage. One of the tactics that the protesters and demonstrators are using is misinformation. Information that is inaccurate, information that misleads the public. We're actively tweeting and providing information out through social media and other media mechanisms in order to be able to try and get accurate, factual information around.
But you're not telling anything to anyone. You just said you're not going to discuss your tactics because you know they're wrong. You know that they're scummy. I uploaded something to Twitter. He was kneeing him. Some cops were actually bracing to attack this guy, and then when they thought they had this trucker, like in a part where no one could see, yeah, they started kneeing him. And like, it's all over Twitter. I'm sure you've seen it. But these are the guys who don't want to, and you're surprised that he doesn't want to discuss his tactics. If you think this person exists to serve and protect you, I can't tell you anything. If you actually think these people exist because, they just want you to be safe, you're a fool. Excuse me. This second clip we have to watch, bizarre. It's just a bizarre clip. Take a look at this. A Conservative MP tries to bring up Klaus Shwab because a lot of people in the West are now noticing. This has been going on for a couple of decades, but slowly and surely people are starting to wake up to just how entrenched corruption is in the West. Britain, Canada, United States, Australia. These are deeply, Europe, these are deeply corrupt countries that try to wax lyrical about like a third world country or something, when they're far worse. The West is worse, believe it or not, it is. So, She wants to ask a question about Klaus Shwab, and it's just bizarre. Watch.
I'll take questions and comments. The Honourable Member for Oshawa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I listened to my colleague's speech. I had a constituent that wanted me to ask a question about outside interference to our democracy. Klaus Shwab is the head of the World Economic Forum, and he bragged how his subversive WEF, World Economic Forum, has, quoted, infiltrated governments around the world. He said that his organization had penetrated more than half of Canada's cabinet. And I was wondering...
See, look, he's not even listening, he's panicking. Immediately, as soon as the name Klaus Schwab was mentioned, his bizarre reaction.
In the interest of transparency, could the member please name which cabinet ministers are on board with the WEF's agenda? My concern is the deputy.
Order. I know that the member was in a really good question there, but
it was a really good question, but we're going to stop you from answering it. It's the same as a clip before. Can you remember? Oh, we're not going to tell you our tactics, but you've got to trust us. These people are insane. You cannot let them get away with this. You have to vote them out. Right? You have to change this entrenched system of entitlement where people think, look at the stupid look. He just thinks he can do whatever he likes. He decides what you can ask. That's not how democracy works. He is essentially proving the point of the Conservative MP. He's essentially proving his point. You're not even allowed to ask about these things. And if you want to know who really controls you, look to the people you can't criticise. Yeah, you can't criticise them, you can't ask questions, they shut you down. Those are the people who are really in charge. Disgusting, isn't it?
The audio is really, really bad, and
so apparently the audio is really bad. Was it bad for you? Did you hear it? His lie is so disgustingly obvious that he's proving the point of the Conservative MP. If you can't see it, so he's saying that the audio is bad, yet he knows exactly what he's asking the question about. Isn't it a coincidence? It's another one, isn't it? How many of those coincidences have we discovered in just this video? So in order for that the tyrant of Ottawa Police to be correct, in order for him to be correct, just in this one video there was like 16 different coincidences. And I'm sure you see it every day. Oh, well, that's just a coincidence. Oh, that's misinformation. Oh, that's disinformation. How many times is that going to happen? It's for your version of reality to be correct, coincidences need to be happening to every human being in Canada, Australia, Britain, United States. 15 different coincidences every second in order for your BS version of reality to be real. Oh, we can't hear, I can't hear what you're saying. He knows he's lying as well. He knows it.
Video is really, really bad as well, and I apologize. I don't know if the member. Okay, let's try again. The honourable member for Timmins James Bay.
Mr. Speaker, that member was promoting open disinformation. That's not debate. We have to call it
disgusting. What disinformation? He was quoting Schwab's own words. His own words. This isn't democracy. You see the people who wax lyrical about all these attacks that are meant to be coming from on against democracy. When they say that, what they're actually talking about is their own precarious power. Yeah, they associate themselves with democracy. So if you oppose them, then you oppose democracy. But that's not democracy. This was an elected member asking a question, quoting from Shwab himself and his organisation's mission statement. But apparently it's disinformation. What a coincidence. So working, and deep down, I love the body language of people. Right, keep an eye on him. Right, because the guy talking was encouraged by him there.
Open disinformation. That's not debate.
See, look, you can just see it. I think deep down, there's some, not all, in fact, I'd say a minority of people on the left. I think deep down they realise they're going too far. But because to be left-wing is to be in like a sheep herd mentality type thing, none of them ever say anything or do anything They just follow and comply. They follow the herd. But I find this body language extremely revealing. He looks exceptionally nervous, probably that he's doing something that deep down he probably doesn't want to do, which is to silence someone for asking a question. And then when the left wing the idiot stands up and goes, oh, well, that's disinformation, even though he was quoting from it himself, right? The look on him there goes, oh, well, that's all you get from leftists. That's all you get from establishment politicians. Oh, well.
The member is promoting open disinformation. That's not debate. We have to call it.
That's not debate. So, and you see, he just went, So, what you're doing is debate. You silenced him. You lied by saying, oh, we can't hear your audio. There just happens to be a problem with the feed. I can't really see it. And apparently doing that to the Conservative MP, that is debate. But a Conservative MP asking him a question stating from Klaus Shwab himself, from his organisations, the World Economic Forum, their mission statement, and many of the things that they've been doing, apparently that's not debate. So this is the world the leftists live in. To ask an honest question is not debate. To shut people down and play dirty little tricks by saying, oh, I can't hear the audio, apparently that is debate. Up is down is up, left is right, and war is peace. I'll leave it there. See you in the next one.